What up, y'all? Shots with Jay, back at it again with another one. Today we're going to be going over the SD series, specifically the SD40 chambered and 40 Smith & Wesson. They do also have the SD9 out there, but I don't have that, so we're going to be going over what I do got, which is the SD40. Right, so we're going to be going over what I like about it, what I don't like about it, some upgrades I've done, and just my overall thoughts. Smith & Wesson, right? They are a prestigious company. I really do like them. They may be my favorite brand, my favorite company out there in the industry. I feel like their customer service is definitely the best from everybody, and that's because they always handle business right on the spot. You know, they don't take long for responses. You know, usually they don't charge you anything, and everybody else is just trying to get a buck. So Smith & Wesson, they do have my points for that. So I'd like to start right there. All right, so going over some specs. Let's go over the barrel, right? This is a 4-inch barrel, which is considered the standard length of a barrel. You know, anything under 4 inch, you're gonna go ahead and begin to lose velocity. Not significant velocity, right? But it will start to decrease. And likewise, anything above it, you're gonna go ahead and increase in velocity, which is good. But then you go into things like compromising, you know, concealability, things like that. So 4-inch is the standard. It's a really good barrel, very durable. I've, you know, shot many rounds of this thing. It's never even had a jam, so I have to vouch for that. You know, you can shoot tens of thousands of rounds of this thing. This barrel is going to be fine. This thing's going to run. I could just let you know that right now. So one thing that I do like about this is the big slide release. Same thing at the Canic, right? They have a big slide release. That's something I like. I'm not a fan of, you know, any models that have tiny slide releases, and that's because for me at least it's easy to miss. With big slide releases, you can't really miss it. Right here with the texturing right here, this is good for your support hand, especially for taming that recoil, considering it is a 40. Of course, right, that would apply for any caliber you're shooting, but especially for a 40, you know, you need all the help you can get, since it's a lot harder to speed shoot compared to something like a 9mm, right? So that's something I also like. Now for the extended takedown levers, right here, these are from NDZ Performance. These are in the zombie green color, and if you look over the top, actually you can see how they come out of the side because they're to help you grip it a lot easier. The takedown levers from the factory out of the box, I'm not gonna lie, they're so bad, they suck. It's really hard to take apart the gun like that. You really gotta pinch in there and just make sure that you know, hit the right angle on it's just a mess, right? So for me, that's a mandatory upgrade. If you get the SD series, you need an extended takedown lever. I totally recommend NDZ, not sponsored by them or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I got and what I think is worth it, right? Of course, right, we're going to go over the big topic of the SD series, the trigger. You know, everybody says that the SD trigger sucks, at least the way it comes out of the box. And you know what? I don't really disagree with that. You know, I do like the feel of the trigger shoe, right, which most people don't. Everybody hates the curved trigger. I actually love the curved trigger. For me, that felt like a better shoe than this one. This one is the Apex flat face. But the pounds that it took, right, to set this thing off out of the box stock, it was just insane. We're talking about like 8 to 10 pounds. You know, for a striker fired pistol, like, you know, this isn't a revolver. So 8 to 10 pounds is pretty nuts, especially when you have some pieces right here going 4 or 3 pounds these days with short resets. It's just, you know, there's no way. You have to switch out the trigger, or at least the springs, right? You can keep the shoe though, at least in my opinion. I like the way the curved trigger felt, but man, the pounds that it took to finally click that thing was just crazy. Right here we got the Apex flat face trigger. It looks exactly identical to the Apex trigger you can get for the M&P. But being honest, it's not, right? It is better than the trigger that comes out of the box stock. And we're gonna go ahead and go over it. So right here, right, this is the taking away that safety blade, and we're gonna go over how much it actually takes for this thing to go bang. All right, here we go. Going, going, going. It's long, right? And let's just say we're here, right? At this point, this is the real reset that it takes for it to click. So I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear it. We're gonna try our best here. Start to release. You know, that's pretty long. So the reset, I'm not gonna say that that got any better compared to the old trigger, but it's a lot lighter. That is the one thing that you will get if you upgrade to the Apex trigger. And you know, we're just speaking transparent here, right? I'm telling you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So that, in my opinion, is definitely a mandatory upgrade, right? Unless, you know, you're just going to keep it in your drawer and never use it. It's just something that you get to have there in case of anything. Then yeah, sure, right? You don't have to upgrade it, right? But if you're actually taking this piece serious and, you know, you want it to be your sword on your side, so to say, then, you know, you want to do everything that it takes to fit your needs the best that it can. And, you know, in my opinion, the takedown lever and the trigger, those are, you know, it's just got to be done. Straight up. Those two, right? The rest is just optional, but these two, they have to be mandatory, at least in my opinion. Now the texturing is pretty good, actually, the way it comes out of the box. I can't really go over that because here on the grip, I have the Talon grips. This is the Pro model. It's kind of the in between the sandpaper and the rubber grips. It's kind of like a mix of both. So for me, this is good because it's not too soft, not too tough. This is good for carrying, in my opinion. I really like these. They're gonna last a long time, you know, unless you're going to the range daily or something like that, right? But the Talon Grips Pro model, those are pretty good. The natural stippling that it has, the texturing, I do like it. You could totally do away without having to upgrade on the texturing. That's for sure. I like the little things that Smith & Wesson does to go ahead and show that, you know, they put this release out. So they have, you know, their prestigious emblem here and here as well. Can't really miss it. You got it on the frame, you got it on the slide. It's just to show, you know, who you're rocking with at that moment. Now the sights, right? These sights are amazing in my opinion. You have a green front fiber optic and some red ones on the back. And right here I have a custom laser edged backplate. It says TRI. It's just something that I liked for myself. But these sights, man, they're super accurate. Yeah, the trigger may suck out of the box, right? Unless you upgrade it. These sights make it so easy to shoot. I feel like, honestly, of all my pieces, this is my most accurate. It's really hard for me to miss with this thing. And I'm not even kidding. This thing is a really sweet shooter. I don't think you can go wrong with it, especially if you get these sights. I know they have some models with the white dots. But these sights, they're just really good, at least in the daytime. Of course, right, in the nighttime, these things don't shine, but in the daytime, they do. The more the sun pops out, you know, the brighter the green and the red gets. So the magazine, right, I know a lot of people with the SD series, they have a problem. It may be with just the 40, the SD 40s. I'm not sure if the SD 9s also experience this, but I know for all the 40s, most people have an issue with the rattling of the rounds in the magazine, right? If you have a 14 round magazine, which is what it comes with, you know, right out of the box, and you load it up all the way, you know, you put it inside, it's gonna go ahead and rattle when you shake it whenever you have a round, and that annoys most people, but it doesn't really annoy me. It's not gonna make a difference. You know, it still works 100%. You know, people are wondering, is there anything wrong? No, there's nothing wrong. That's just the way it is with these. However, there is one fix for it that nobody really mentions because I just don't think people know about it. And that's what I have right here in the bottom. So this is an extended mag plate, and it is from Apex, right? It's actually a plus 3. So if we're looking at a standard outside of the box 14 round mag, you put that extension on, you're looking at 17 rounds plus one in the head, a total of 18 rounds. 18 rounds of 40 is no joke. Even 17 rounds, even 15 rounds, right? It's 40. Like, this isn't 9 we're talking about. 40, it's a lot. I really feel like that's a big upgrade, especially if you want to eliminate the rattle. And yes, even if you know, fill up the mag all the way, put one in the head, fully loaded, 18 rounds, you'll get 0 rattle, completely completely solving the issue if it was an issue to you. So that is an optional upgrade if you do get annoyed with the rattling of the mag. But overall, I think this is a really sweet piece. It has a rail right here for lights, lasers, anything like that. I really feel like you can't go wrong with this. Now the SD40 2.0 recently came out, and that one's nice too. I do want to go ahead and pick that one up as well, because I know on the new models they have anti-glare serrations on the top of the slide, obviously, which helps, you know, reduce, you know, glare from the sun when it bounces back to your eyes. They also have upgraded serrations. Here we have lined serrations. The others is more of a filling, and it's definitely deeper. So the new serrations are probably better, but these are pretty good at, you know, just the way they are already. So I am looking forward to getting that, you know, one of these days. But for now, for the SD40 1.0, I feel like this is a really sweet piece. You can't go wrong with it. Do I recommend it? Definitely. Do I think you'll go wrong with it? No, I don't. I don't feel like you're downplayed, underleveled, underpowered, under anything if you get this. I think you are definitely on the equal playing field. I just think that if you really want to do something that's going to increase the performance, you got to upgrade the trigger and the takedown levers, because you never know when you need to disassemble the thing. So over the top, right, we can see how thick this is. I honestly feel, as crazy as it seems, I feel like the Canik TP9 SC Elite, I feel like that subcompact is thicker than this compact. This is not a subcompact, a micro compact. This is a standard compact with a 4-inch barrel. And I feel like it's not as thick as that Canik. So that's pretty crazy. It's pretty thin, actually. I feel like, you know, you can comfortably carry this. You're not going to have any issues. And I usually don't have any issues printing when I do. So I feel like on top of everything, the aesthetics of this thing, it just looks mean, it looks lean, it looks ready to go. This thing can definitely bang, and I do recommend it. In my opinion, this is the most underrated piece that Smith & Wesson offers. Now, not the SD series specifically, but rather the SD40, because the SD9 is much more popular. The SD40 is underrated. There's no doubt about that. Let me know what you guys think. Any thoughts, comments? I'd appreciate it if you guys like and subscribe. Just let me know your thoughts. Smith & Wesson, the SD40.